Story 1. Maybe a month ago. My wife asked me out of the blue, do you feel our relationship is fine? Coincidentally, I was gonna talk to her about some things that very same day. She had become withdrawn and distant a few weeks prior, and talking a lot with another person, essentially having an emotional affair. I was gonna bring this up this very night. She went on and said she didn't think we were doing well, and that the best might be to just get a divorce. I was shocked to say the least. She said she had no romantic feelings for this other person. She didn't have the capacity to have any feelings because of us. But maybe down the line, she would have. Since he was nice to talk to, we had been through something exactly the same 6 years prior. She found someone else to talk to, sent some lingerie pics to that guy. We went to therapy, even though she didn't want to, and after 6 months we sorted it. We became stronger, but this time she didn't want to work on it, and she didn't want to go to therapy. All we decided was that we weren't gonna do anything rash, so I existed in this sort of limbo for about a month. I went to therapy myself. I had nobody to confide in or talk to, and I was just feeling so down, so sad, and I didn't think life was worth living anymore. We talked a few more times, and every time she just told me the same things. She didn't want therapy. Why prolong the suffering? She didn't want to give me false hope. Best would be to just divorce. During this time, I was trying to make an effort, talking to her much more, which is what she was wanting and lacking. Trying to save us, but it was so hard and so tough because there was nothing given back. And now for D-Day, which was yesterday. I came home 30 minutes earlier than I said I would from work. Our son was gaming in the living room. I asked him where Mom was. He said she was upstairs. I go upstairs. The door to the bedroom is locked. I ask her what she's doing, and she says she's just changing and will be right out. You're alone at home and locking the door while changing? Yeah, right, I say. I panic. I know what she's doing. She's sending pictures to this guy. I beat on the door. I scream to open, etc., and she takes forever to unlock the door. When she comes out, she admits to what she was doing, but she claims she never actually sent the pictures. I go through her phone, but she had all the time in the world to get rid of evidence. We argue. We yell. I am so hurt and so sad and so angry. She says she sees no future with me, no life with me. The best is to just divorce. I flip out. I remove parts of her PC because I don't want her to talk to this guy anymore, and I hide them. I tear out all her clothes from the closet because I want to see what clothes she was wearing on the pics. I'm looking for the sexy clothes. They have moved from where they usually are. We get the kids to bed. We argue some more. I tell her I love her, but I hate her too. I tell her that despite this, I would want to try and fix things. She doesn't want to. I threaten to end my life. I go to a friend's house. I cry a lot. My marriage is over. It's dead. He comforts me best he can. We drink, and I feel a little better. I should have stayed at my friend's house and just slept, but I didn't. I was so sad, so lonely, so hurt. And I find someone to hook up with thinking it would make me feel any better, but it doesn't. Just makes me feel disgusting. I get home at 6 a.m. and I have now accepted that my marriage is over, so I talk very openly with my wife. Tell her that I don't blame her and that I am sorry for last night. I also tell her I slept with someone else that night, and she then says that makes me very sad, and I asked her, why? You ended our marriage last night? For a month all you've said is we should divorce. I don't want to work on it, and last night you very clearly ended our marriage. And she then said she had hopes it wasn't actually over. I panic. I tell her I lie. I didn't sleep with someone else. She suddenly wants to try. I am just so desperate to get us working again. We talk, we help. Things feel good, but I am wrestling with this. I can't base it on a lie. And I didn't wear protection, so I don't want to give her something. I have to tell her the truth, despite her now suddenly wanting to reconcile, so I do. She's angry, sad, hurt, says that despite all that she did, she never did anything physical. She screams that who the F. CK goes out and fucks someone else mere hours after. And she takes the kids to her parents and leaves. I am just so sad. I fucked it up. I really thought there was no chance to move on, no chance we could mend this. I begged her for a month to go to therapy, to try and fix it, and she didn't want to. My friend tells me that I shouldn't feel bad, that I was completely broken psychologically, desperate, sad, suicidal, but I just feel so sad, despite all that she did. I was the one that killed it in the end, with some stupid hookup. I just wanted to feel wanted. But I didn't, and instead I killed of my only chance of happiness. I just feel so sad.
First comment.
Based on what I just read, it seems like it is best to part ways. Just my gut instinct. Obviously, I am not there to observe, but it is pretty messy. She seems disconnected from the marriage and you're in and out. If she will not go to marriage counseling, you could then ask her what is her plan then to work on the marriage. If she has no plan, I think it's a red flag that she may be just settling. You both play your part in the marriage, good and bad. For how it has turned out, it can only go one way or the other. The emotional affair and sending the pics would be a deal breaker to me. I just would really be turned off. You also have to ask yourself, how much are you really in love with her if you slept with someone else so suddenly? You both seem unhappy but keep hanging on for the sake of comfort. And afraid of change. I am also contemplating divorce and am wrestling with conflicting thoughts. If I had slept with someone else, I would call it over myself.
Second comment.
Emotional affairs are far more damaging to a marriage than a one-night stand. Your marriage was over 6 years ago when your wife had her first emotional affair. Get yourself into counseling, both individual as well as couples. Get the number for a crisis hotline and keep it with you until you have the tools to regulate your emotions. These are dangerous times, especially for men. Do not discuss anything other than day-to-day logistics with your wife until you have started individual counseling. Do not discuss your relationship or what happened. Tell her you need some time to process things before talking about your marriage, and encourage her to do the same. Story 2. A Malu guy got married to a nice Malu girl. During the pandemic, my fiancé, I had to keep postponing the wedding due to travel restrictions for close to a year. We finally got married, but since my immediate family were abroad and travel restrictions were in place, none of them were there physically at the wedding. My cousins and relatives came together to stand in place of my family. Her family were present, but my family were all virtually present. We moved abroad after the marriage, and we were happy. We were even planning for a baby, but due to the COVID vaccine, we were initially asked to delay our plans. She kept complaining occasionally that she didn't have the wedding of her dreams. She wanted an elaborate reception with more guests and events. I told her that my parents weren't even able to attend, but I was there by myself, just so that we didn't have to wait longer. A month before our first anniversary, she said that her mother's seriously ill and in the hospital, and she went home to be with her. After she left, she stopped picking up my calls and responding to my messages. After a few days, her family called me and told me that she isn't happy with me and wants to get a divorce from me. I asked her to tell me why, but she just blocked me on everything. I have no idea why she left, and none of her family will tell me. She told everyone she knows that I'm impotent, and that's why she left, if true. I'm not sure why it took her 11 months to realize this. Her family has spread lies all around. Some lies are conflicting, but who cares? I knew she would be homesick and tried to make her feel closer to her family. I have no idea what went wrong. Later I found out from her friends that she was still in a relationship with her ex-boyfriend. I have no idea why she even agreed to marry me. I found out that this was her plan all along. Divorce proceedings are all over. She is free to be with whoever she likes. Really didn't have to do it this way, but I feel sad for her. She had to get married to someone she didn't want to be with, just so that she could get what she wanted. I think that is a line too much for me to cross.
First comment.
To be frank, I'm scared to get an arranged marriage. I don't get the logic of how you randomly lock two people in a room and hope that everything works out. I had a breakup a year ago because her family found out about me, and immediately judgment that I wasn't good enough for her. They kept torturing her and we had to end it in a bad way. During the last days I remember her saying that now she'll have to marry someone they say, and even if things go south she can blame her parents now.
Second comment.
I have read many cases like this, especially in the old Infi Confessions page. Girl is all excited about marriage, involved in all parts of planning the wedding and honeymoon. The day after wedding, The drama starts and it ends in divorce. Absolute cons. But meanwhile, I'm also thinking about the mindsets of their boyfriends during all this charade. How are they okay with ruining everything for another man who they have never met or had any enmity against? How do they sleep at night trusting these girls that she wouldn't do the same to him as well? Their excuses are also aplenty. Family pressures. Why foot? Any man worth his salt would do everything to not do this inhumane act. Even going as far as eloping away with the girl. But not these emasculated guys. They are all game with the plan to turn another man's life upside down after making him spend time and money on that sham wedding. May these F-kers never have a good day in their lives again.